Subscribe, hype, like, click the notification bell and turn on all notifications. And donate with a super thanks donation in the comments section below for the unfiltered, unapologetic SeanzViewEnt, your home for WWE news, rumors, and backstage chaos. This is where gossip gets exposed around the clock. Now, here's your host, the brash SeanzViewEnt.
What does the White House have planned next for the WWE? This is your undisputed place to be for the hottest, the latest, the greatest, the newest in WWE. Now, we all know what Donald Trump and the White House just pulled off under the TKO era with Donald Trump and the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And it was a night that will go down in the history books. It will go down in the annals of time as perhaps one of the greatest nights in the history of combat sports. But now, ladies and gentlemen, there is rumor and gossip and speculation that if the WWE were to hold, if the WWE were to have a White House event on that lawn, on that front lawn, where Donald Trump currently lives as the president of the United States of America, what would this event look like, ladies and gentlemen? What would it be called? What would be the name? What would be the main event for the White House and the WWE? Well, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters at this hour and at this time, we are receiving word that the main event would look like something like the World Heavyweight Championship being on the line with Roman Reigns, or the undisputed WWE Championship on the line with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in what would be a revolutionary event. Would you want to see the WWE partner up with the White House and Donald Trump? Because listen, this wouldn't be far off from happening. This could happen. This could go down. We all know Donald Trump and the WWE have partnered up before. They have tag teamed before. They are no stranger to themselves, ladies and gentlemen. So for something like this to go down, for an event like this to happen, would not be out of the ordinary. Let me tell you that right now. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, not only is it a massive problem plaguing the red brand of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, on your TV screens, on your tablets, on your phones, however you're accessing, however you're watching Monday Night Raw, and we all know the problems that are on Raw right now, and it's not just me saying it. It's other YouTubers, it's other commentators, it's other reviewers. A lot of people are critiquing the WWE, and quite frankly, it's not just Raw, though. It's not just a Raw problem exclusively. No, this problem is now resonating across SmackDown. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you saw the pics, if you saw the turnout for the SmackDown taping, the double taping for Raw and SmackDown, the spoilers have leaked, but I'm not going to give away the results. I'm not going to give the spoilers away right here on this very show. Because, well, I'm not here to ruin results. Now, am I here to give the rumors, the news, the gossip, the speculation? Well, yeah, because that's what I've been doing, but I'm not going to spoil a show for you. Okay, I'm not going to spoil the presentation. But SmackDown is facing its own level of issues, its own problems with the attendance being so horrible, so bad, so treacherous. And this is for a UK event. Usually, and you know, you can say, oh, well, they got this going on, they got that going on. They got this sport happening. What was the excuse in the Attitude Era when the ratings were at a sky high? What was the excuse in the Attitude Era when WWE was beating WCW? Or what about when WCW was beating WWE? What was the excuse then? You couldn't really use football then. All right? There's no doubt that, you know, wrestling certainly has not reached a point since the Attitude Era. It has not reached that pivotal moment. It hasn't reached that fever pitch. It hasn't broke through. We're waiting, guys. We are waiting in the present for that next boom period in professional wrestling. Will it happen? Well, right now it would appear as if it is far off from going down. It will appear as if it is far off. But ladies and gentlemen, what is not far off is what I'm going to bring to you, and we're going to escalate it right here for each and every one of you. Jeff Hardy admits that he may be wrestling less and singing more by the end of 2026. Jeff Hardy may be ready to swap some ring time for stage time because the charismatic enigma sounded more fired up than ever about his singing career. So, ladies and gentlemen, once TNA Slammiversary is all said and done, we may be seeing a lot less of Jeff Hardy on our screens. And you got to wonder now, where does that leave Matt Hardy? What will Matt Hardy do? Will Matt Hardy perhaps come back to the WWE? Will we see Jeff Hardy end it all in the WWE as it concerns his in-ring career? but it would appear as if each and every time Jeff Hardy comes back to the WWE, he seemingly falls off the wagon. He seemingly goes backwards. But in TNA, Jeff Hardy seems more responsible. He seems more resilient. He seems more functioning. And, he's getting a lot less trouble. Also, speaking about the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy, he wants to bring back his first TNA theme, Modest, for his singles matches in TNA wrestling. Jeff Hardy may be known for jumping off ladders and crashing through tables and using some steel chairs from time to time and painting his face like nobody else in wrestling, but the guy's music in TNA, that Modest theme, was definitely a page-turner for Jeff Hardy, and it definitely encapsulated his career in TNA. Also, breaking news, guys, former WWE champion Big E shuts down the idea of taking on WWE's weekly commentary grind. WWE Fanatics auction gets very awkward. The WWE Fanatics auctions got awkward over match-used Survivor Series War Games chair. Well, here's the thing about it, though. In this Survivor Series match in 2022, this steel chair was never used. This steel chair never came into the ring. This steel chair was a non-weapon. So how could you auction off a steel chair? How could you auction off a weapon that wasn't even used? So that's where it got a little bit awkward at WWE Fanatics. Also, there is a belief that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are not done wrestling following their exit from WWE. They may just be taking a much-needed break. Again, there was some rumors and gossip. There was, quite frankly, a lot of speculation. There was a lot of question about Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and what they were going to do next and what their next chapter was going to look like and how that was all going to unfold. But Big E doesn't believe that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are done wrestling. Also, TNA sources claim bad creative made Tommy Dreamer exit absolutely necessary. Perry Saturn calls out Tommy Dreamer over unwanted grab spot allegations. The identity behind the new WWE trademark name, Milos Jovic, revealed online. Also, Kendall Gray says that her WWE character is still a work in progress. She also reveals, Kendall Gray reveals why her Shades of Grey finisher can hit from anywhere, while Michael Cole calls Sami Zayn the Wemby of WWE. Michael Cole took a pretty sharp shot at Sami Zayn on ESPN's Get Up, and Cole was on the show to hype WWE's Big Saturday event. Speaking about the Big Saturday event on ESPN, ladies and gentlemen. The last time we had a Night of Champions that was marred in controversy and death, you have to go all the way back to 2007. It was supposed to be the internet wrestling wet dream of a match of a lifetime. Yes, it was going to be a wet dream, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Benoit, CM Punk for the ECW World Championship. But we all know what happened on that night. It didn't happen. It didn't go down. Instead, it was Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, whatever name you want to go by, that went against CM Punk instead. And the match in itself was good, but nothing like it would have been if it was Chris Benoit and CM Punk going one-on-one with each other. And then we wound up and found out just how gruesome and how heinous it was. Chris Benoit passing away dead at the age of 40. And we all know what happened to his wife and his son on that unforgiving night. A night that will always have a dark spot. It will be a black day in the professional wrestling business. At the same time, they also had a Mr. McMahon limousine blow-up angle going on at the same time, where Mr. McMahon's on-screen death, the death of his character, was supposed to go on. Raw, SmackDown, there's going to be eulogies, there was going to be all these things said, and then in real life, Chris Benoit did the heinous thing that he did to his son and his wife. But again, there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of different questions. There's a lot of different motives. People are coming up with their own scenarios. But the fact of the matter is, we lost three people over the course of a couple of days. And we were robbed of what could have been one of the greatest matches in not only WWE history, but in ECW history as well. Because you can only imagine, because, I mean, the only way you could have got Benoit and CM Punk after that or before that was in a video game. And Chris Benoit was supposed to be the man that was going to be built around the WWE's version of ECW at that time. And at 40 years of age, Chris Benoit still had a lot more to go. So did the late, great Eddie Guerrero, you would have to assume. And if both men were still around today, if both men were still here today, and had Chris Benoit not gone away the way he did, you would have to assume that both superstars, both wrestlers, would have something to do. It's just something to think about. WrestleMania 20, Madison Square Garden. Two of WCW's superstars standing in the middle of a WWE ring to close off WrestleMania 20, and one of the most significant moments in the history of WrestleMania, a night that nobody will ever forget. I can assure you of that. But all those memories have just become a massive twist of fate. It has been marred in controversy and conflict. Say what you want, but some people differentiate Chris Benoit the wrestler from Chris Benoit the person, and sometimes that's how they settle with that. That's how they deal with the whole scenario. And again, a dark cloud will always be over the wrestling world, and it almost seems as if ever since that tragedy, ever since that travesty, ever since that miscarriage of justice, it would just appear as if WWE was never really able to be the same again after that, okay? Also, we are receiving word right now, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Rhodes addresses unfinished business with The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Is that chapter truly over? It seemed like they mended the fences. It seemed like they saw the error of their ways, or have they? Also, Cody Rhodes addresses retirement timeline for his in-ring career in WWE. Cody Rhodes is the current reigning WWE Undisputed Champion of SmackDown on Friday nights. However, he knows that the clock is ticking, and he is not pretending that he'll be WWE's top guy forever. You said 10 years? I don't think in 10 years. I don't think it takes a toll at a certain... I do think it takes a toll at a certain point, and I don't think in 10 years I'll still be going. I think there will be another QB1 of WWE at that point. However, he does see himself as the face of WWE right now. And as far as in-ring competition, I'll be done. I'm turning 41 in a week, and I feel the best I've ever felt, but I do think that in 10 years, I won't be wrestling bell to bell, no. I think 5 years would, 5 years sounds good. If I were to sign a new contract, maybe it would be for 5 years. So Cody isn't saying he's done anytime soon, but he is making it very clear that he is already thinking about the finish line, much like CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and a lot of other top WWE superstars. Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions on all of that. Obviously, it will be a bombshell the day that, to think we have a WWE right now without John Cena, without AJ Styles, without The Undertaker, without Triple H, in-ring wrestlers, okay? Just think about that. AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton's very limited nowadays. I'll tell you what, guys, now is the time that the WWE really needs to step up and create the next stars, the next revolutionaries. Even the Seth Rollins won't be around forever, guys. So I don't know what the WWE is going to do. I don't know how they're going to answer to that. I don't know what their end game is going to be. But this is your undisputed place to be. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, we do this multiple times a day. Why? Because we truly do believe in the viewers, the fans, and the subscribers, and what we bring here to the show. Also, why The Rock may finally return to the WWE. But when? How? Why? Well, we just talked about Cody Rhodes a little bit earlier in the show. Major WWE champion pinned ahead of Night of Champions, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, Flair was attacked by Cargill, B-Fab, and Mitchin before her Queen of the Ring semifinal match against Liv Morgan. For most of the match, Morgan targeted Flair's and Gillette, even applying submissions to it. And for the closing minute, she applied her half-busted crab, forcing the 14-time world champion to tap out. Now, speaking to Jackie Redmond, Alexa Bliss condemned Cargill's cowardly attack and issued a challenge to her minions, B-Fab and Mission, while teaming up with Tiffany Stratton. Jade Cargill breaks silence after attacking Charlotte Flair on WWE SmackDown by saying, "Now we're even." As of this moment, it is not known for how long Charlotte Flair will be out of action. But again, that match is heavily rumored for SummerSlam. Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, one-on-one at the hottest blockbuster event of the year, the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, because without you, there would be no Sean View. We prove it true to each and every one of you. Subscribe.